guys, and welcome back to my channel. As you can see by the title, today I am talking about some of the best foundations that I think were ever made. So if you guys want to see what I think some of them are, let's go. Now y'all know when it comes to foundation, I've tried a lot. I've tried more than the average person will probably ever try. It's been 10 years. I've tried well over 200 foundations. I'm putting my skin through it. Okay, so I got some experience when it comes to foundation, and the ones I'm talking about are the ones that they have withstood time. I still have them. I've repurchased them. They're the ones I recommend the most. They're the ones you guys see me wearing the most. And I think they're like, you know, professional. Well, some are a little more professional, makeup artist friendly compared to the other ones. But like you'll see them in a lot of artist kits as well, because they're just that good a foundation. First up, we're going to start it off with drugstore, because I don't have many drugstore foundations to mention in this video. L'Oreal True Match. I actually have True Match on my face right now, but this is like the newer version. Y'all know they revamped this one, which it wasn't broken. You really didn't have to touch it, because I don't like the newer version as much, but especially the original True Match foundation. This is in the shade N10, baby. And mind you, every time I think about her again, and since I have it on my face right now, I'm like, I kind of need to go back to you, because this is not going to steer you wrong, okay? Oily skin, dry skin, normal skin. It's why you see it a lot in working makeup artist kits. No matter the occasion, you have oily skin, all of that, it's going to get you through the day. It's going to look good on the face. It's going to photograph. It's going to video beautifully on. And it's such a simple foundation. That's probably why it's such a good foundation for all of those things, because it's so simple. You know, when you start getting into it's a matte foundation, it's a dewy foundation, it's all of that, like that's when, you know, so it's like the simpler, the better. The shade range, they continue to extend on this one. It's drugstore, so it's affordable. Like they really did their big one when they made this foundation. It hasn't been topped by much, let's just say that. Up next, go ahead and get the other drugstore foundation out of the way. This is from NYX Cosmetics. It is their Born to Glow Natural Radiant Foundation. You are in the shade Cocoa, which I don't think Cocoa is it, because I have a couple of these. Y'all know I did the whole campaign with NYX, and I was so happy because it was literally something that I truly ended up loving. Like liking it once they put it on my skin, I'm like, oh, okay, but like once it settled, once I went through with the pictures and all that, like the hot you know, studio lighting on my face, all that, I said, now wait a minute, I'm gonna have to take you home. And once I got home, y'all know I wore this out, okay? And it was only $10 of a foundation. But again, because we can't have anything nice, they discontinued this foundation. But this is one of the best drugstore foundations that have been put out. Again, I am someone who has oily skin, and this was something that I was wearing everywhere. I took this out the country. I took this to the hottest of places, to the coldest of places, and my skin was just fine with it on. This is a more like natural, radiant foundation, but again, a more simpler foundation. And you'll see most of them are pretty like medium coverage, but more so they'd be closer to sheer coverage than full coverage foundations. That's just the vibe that I go for, and I really feel like those type of foundations, my bad y'all, my nose literally just started running out of nowhere. I don't remember what I was saying, but I really feel like the more simpler the foundation, the more user friendly it is, the more skin type friendly that it is. NYX again was really good with the shade range. I think this came in like 45 shades or something like that. I don't know if they discontinued because they plan to like remake it or something like that, but again, we can't have nice things, so boo. I have said this several times, and that's why this brand has several entries in this video. NARS makes some of the best complexion products that you can get out there. I'm talking concealer, foundation, but especially foundation. Like the blush is good, the bronzer, when they have shades that I can use. Like their complexion products are really good, but their foundations, literally, I'm pretty sure I have tried every single foundation that NARS has, and I still have yeah, I actually still have every foundation from NARS. But the ones I'm about to talk about right now, first up, summer is coming, soft matte complete foundation. This is in the shade Deep 3. I think most of these will be Deep 3. Oily skin girlies, yes, this is not a matte foundation. You don't need that. This is going to get you through, especially once you combine everything on your face, it's going to get you through them hot days but still look like skin on the face. This is a beautiful, and if I am going to wear a matte foundation, it's usually going to be something that is more soft matte. Or if I'm using a matte primer, it's going to be like a soft matte primer like the one from Fenty. But this, it does what it has to do. It controls the oil while still looking very, which is expected from NARS. If you look at most of their foundations, their thing is natural, right? Like every day, but you can glam it up if you need to, because again, NARS is a brand that you'll find in a lot of makeup artist kits, and you know, they're doing makeup for red carpets and stuff like that. So it has to be able to withstand flash photography, very bright, hot lighting, being at an event for hours. But this is also something that you can use as an everyday, you're going to work, you're going to school, maybe you're just running errands type of foundation. So I also like how their foundations are very flexible. But out of all of the NARS foundations, if you are more of a oily skin girl, I'm talking like oily skin girly, this will probably be your best bet for foundation. However, as someone who has oily skin, my actual favorite foundation of all time from NARS is their Sheer Glow foundation. I think this was discontinued. You'll hear the word discontinued a lot in this video because, you know, things come and go. They reformulate, they bring them back. But this is the Sheer Glow. This is actually in dark 2. I want to say this is probably when I started feeling like it's safe to use, you know, natural finish foundation, stuff like that, because y'all know, like, I was definitely I have oily skin, so I have to be a matte girly or like a powder foundation type of girly. And you know, I've always heard everyone talking about NARS, and I've actually tried one of the other ones I'm going to talk about before and didn't like it as much because it wasn't a matte foundation. But I'm telling you, like, once I really got out of that phase of just matte foundations, it's like the shackles off my feet. This is a beautiful foundation on the face. And again, it's the same thing with all of them. They photograph beautifully. They are on video beautiful. It's beautiful in real life. That's also something about NARS, because, you know, sometimes it can look really good for, you know, if you're doing television, if you are doing photography, stuff like that, but then you see it in real life and you're like, oh, you definitely have makeup on. You have the whole bottle on. So you're not going to get that with NARS. So Sheer Glow, and I feel like they've kind of toyed with us a little bit with some of the other foundations that they put out, like, oh, this is supposed to be like Sheer Glow's replacement. It's not. That, what was it, the Radiant, they came out with like a Radiant foundation maybe like 2 years ago, something like that. I have that. That's also a good foundation. And I feel like it was supposed to be like Sheer Glow's replacement, but it's not. Nothing's good. Actually, Born to Glow by NYX, it's up there. It's up there with Sheer Glow. And the last one that I have from NARS is the one that I had to repurchase and give it another try. This is the, what do you call it? Natural Radiant Longwear foundation in Deep 3. And I also like that I'm pretty much the same shade in all the foundations. So if you find your shade in one, you'll probably find your shade in all the other ones. But try this again last year, and this has been in a lot of videos that you guys have seen since last year. Another thing about NARS foundations, they mix really well with other foundations. I mix this all the time with Patrick Ta. They kind of run in the same family of like that kind of radiant but natural foundation. So really like this one. And again, more simple, more skin-like, just my medium coverage, my medium buildable but skin-like coverage. Okay, this next one, hear me out. MAC Studio Radiance Face and Body. This is in the shade N7. I've tried. You're not a makeup girly if you haven't tried multiple foundations from MAC, but especially at least one foundation. And you really haven't gone through the trials of being a makeup girly if you did not start out as NW45. Child, you walked into MAC, they saw a black girl, they said, you're NW45. But my friend is NW45 and we're two different shades. That doesn't matter. You're NW45 as well. So I've definitely gone through, you know, my moments with MAC. I've tried pretty much every foundation that they have. Do I think this is the best MAC foundation that you can get? I actually kind of do. I know it's not everyone's favorite foundation, but it's my favorite foundation from MAC. Do I think it's the best foundation that MAC has put out? Maybe. Because baby, let me tell you something about this face and body, and probably because it is something that you can also use on your body. This is natural. This is I feel like it's the closest skin-like for MAC. Because one of the reasons I don't actually care for a lot of MAC foundations is that they're very heavy. They're very heavy. They're very orange, especially the deeper the shades get. And this is not. This is very light. It's liquid. Can you hear that? It's liquid. You can really control the type of coverage that you want with this, because it is that type of like drop foundation. So if you want sheer, you can get sheer. If you want medium, you can get medium. You get the point from that. And I think all of that combined is why I feel like this really is probably the best foundation that you can get from MAC. If you guys saw the video, you know the trend where it's like, how much do you like the cookie? And I did that, and I used a foundation, and it was a lot of coverage that I'm trying to balance out on my face. And people were like, oh, okay, wait a minute, the end still kind of worked. Yeah, it still kind of worked because I was using this foundation. That's specifically why I used this foundation, because it's so lightweight, because it's so natural. Even if you do go overboard with how much you're putting on your face, the dry down, and then when you do your entire face, it's not going to be as skin-like, but it's still going to closely look natural on the face, right? Like, I look a little crazy at the end of that, but it wasn't that crazy. I actually looked crazier with foundations that it wasn't a joke of a video. Like, I was supposed to look serious in the video, and because of the foundation, I did not. So this is actually, it's one of my favorite foundations in general, but this is my favorite foundation that you can get from MAC. I feel like this does not get the attention and the respect that it deserves. Next up, she's new, she's newer, she's younger. I think this is like maybe a year old foundation. Maybe it's not older than 2 years. Patrick Ta's Major Skin Hydra-Luxe Luminous Skin Perfecting Foundation is in the shade 26, 28, 26, 26. Neutral, I think that's a 6. Listen, and mind you, I've tried things from Patrick Ta Beauty, and I feel like I've kind of been let down more than I've been excited, which the let down is because it's Patrick Ta, right? Like, you're a celebrity makeup artist, you've been in the game. So when people heard that he was coming out with the makeup line, it's like, oh, okay, wait a minute. Like, I'm expecting, like, you know, Makeup by Mario type products. And I feel like some of his products have been very hit or miss, but this restored my faith in Patrick, that you know what you're doing. Like, I know you know what you're doing, and you get that with this foundation. This foundation, like I said, reminds me of the NARSNatural Radiant, the Range Beauty foundation, the NYX Born to Glow. They all kind of run in that same family of being a very natural foundation, but glowing. And that kind of like glow from within type look, not, you know, like you just have a whole bunch of highlighter on your face, or, you know, you have oily skin in your face. It's shiny, so you're that type of glow. Like that very just natural, but you're glowing, you know, like when you're pregnant, and like you're like that type of glow. I do think she's just a little thicker than some of the other ones that I mentioned that kind of fall in the same range. So definitely one that I would say is more like medium coverage, closer to full coverage as opposed to closer to sheer coverage. The shade match on me, the fact that this pairs well with a lot of other foundations. If you saw the video, was that where I was talking about body care, I was wearing Patrick Ta and L'Oreal. Like I said, I mix Patrick Ta and NARS all the time. I mix Patrick Ta with MAC, with Range Beauty. I've mixed it with a lot, and it just looks very chef kiss on the face every single time. So, and again, I've tried a lot of foundations. I feel like I don't like foundations as much as quickly. Like, sometimes they have to grow on me just because I've tried so many that like I can't be easily impressed when it comes to foundations nowadays. So also the fact that I liked it as quickly as I did says a lot to me. So Patrick did his big one on this one. Okay, next up, I actually really like this foundation. I feel like I don't talk about it as much just because the shade range I don't really care for. But other than that, I feel like it's a very good foundation. It is the Luminous Silk Foundation from Armani Beauty. This is in the shade 14. I don't remember if they've extended this, but I think it was extended when I purchased this. Like, I think they had to extend the shade range for me to even have a shade in it, and that's why, like, but the actual foundation, again, you see a theme here: luminous, radiant. This luminous silk foundation, I like that type of like silky, I was gonna say silky product, but in this case silky foundation, silky velvety type product on the face. I just feel like looks so pretty on the face. And I feel like when it is a liquid product like that, I like it a little bit more, because I feel like you usually get that with more cream products, and cream looks beautiful on the face, but I know my limits. I have oily skin. Full face of cream on me. I think I've actually done a full face of cream before, and literally like felt like I was melting by the end of the day, but it looks beautiful on. So with the more like velvety liquids, the silk liquids, I feel like you kind of get that same effect, but I'm able to maintain liquid better on my face. And again, big events, photography, natural everyday type look, this is good for that. Okay, and the last foundation that I have to physically show you, this is the Mer, the Soft Fluid Longwear foundation. This is in the shade 420. Listen, if you're the most expensive foundation that I've ever purchased, you better be one of the best foundations that I've ever tried before. But no, like this, again, it's the finish for me when it comes to this foundation. It just looks beautiful on special occasions when I'm out and about. People are like, oh, you look good. Thanks, thank you. And it kind of falls in line with all the other foundation. However, I wouldn't necessarily say radiant comes to mind when I think of this. I think it's more so just like a natural finish, but again, simple natural finish that looks very skin-like, holds up well throughout the day, plays well with other products, other type of formulas. So that's what I'm basing my criteria off of. And yeah, y'all, that is it. I don't know how many that was, but those are really some of the foundations that I think are some of the best foundations that have ever been made. I know I'm definitely forgetting some. So if you remember some that I've definitely talked about before, hyped up before, drop them in the comments down below. Let me know what some of your best foundations ever made were. Make sure to thumbs up, comment, subscribe, turn notification bells down below. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you in the next one.